What's going on, everybody? Matty Ice back again with Profit Props. This is the sharp side. First, we will recap the last NFL show. 1-1 on props. Cash the pick of the day. Saquon over 89.5 rushing yards. He was over 100. I want to bitch a little bit about the A.J. Brown play, only because we deserved to hit that. Early in the game, first quarter, might have been second quarter, Jalen Hurts is rushing to his left. Really not that pressured, though. I should say rolling out to his left. A.J. Brown puts his defender on the ground, wide open. Not only was he more than 11 yards, which we needed to cash our play, he could have turned and ran 30. Jalen Hurts just threw a ball 11 yards short. So, yeah, I'm a bitch about that one a little bit. Parlays, 0-2 on lottos. I think we had 2 lottos, 0-2. And I'm trying to remember, we were 7 yards. What did we need? A.J. Brown needed 7 yards to cash the lotto. No. It wasn't A.J. Brown. What was it? Because we needed 60 plus. Hold on. Let me go to my recap. I just looked before. Football recap. Jaden Daniels needed 7 yards. We needed 200 from Jaden Daniels to turn 1.5 units into 6.2 units of profits. Yep, that's what 9 yards. Ben said 9 yards. So, yeah. Anyways, I digress. I do have a parlay I'm going to be releasing right now. I just finished putting it together, then decided to go live. So I'll release it to everyone on here and in the Discord. I'm just waiting on a screenshot. Cough, cough, Storch, if you're watching. But it's going to be Lamar 225 plus, Russ 225 plus, Pickens 50 rec yards plus, Zay Flowers 40 rec yards plus. We'll go ahead and pull up the board. Bada bing, bada boom. Go game by game. I did just release this as well, Debo over. I've got 4 props today, and I've only got about an hour of allotment. So what I'm going to do today different than weeks prior is kind of just go over the 4 plays I have and any requests we may have. Because like I said, we're trying to get this done in about an hour today, and there will be a Monday night show as well. We'll try to keep all 3 shows at an hour. I do have some really, really, really special guests lined up. Also, some really big news. Everyone in the Discord that's been waiting on it. I can't announce it now, but something big's happening next week. And then I'll be able to announce it. So, very big news coming soon. Appreciate y'all being patient with that. Let's go over the plays that I do have. We'll start in the Pittsburgh game. It is a 1:00 game. I've got both quarterbacks to go over their passing yards straight outside of just the parlay. So, yeah, we've got Zay 40, Pickens 50, Lamar 225 plus, Russ 225 plus for that parlay. And that should be in the Discord now. I'm trying to get, plus 464 total odds. All right, but if you're in the Discord, it's coming through right now. And if you're not in the Discord, there's a free trial in my bio. Fuck. 1 second, I got to get this out and then we straight. All right, right back at it. Russell Wilson, we locked in over 224.5 last night. Obviously, we got some pretty good closing line value, but I still like it at 230. You see here, Baltimore is allowing the most passing yards per game while also allowing the fewest rushing yards per game. I'm a big Najee fan. I think Jalen Warren's one of the best backups in the NFL. I think they run a great tandem, but if Pittsburgh wants to be successful today, they're going to have to throw the ball. And I think Russell Wilson has proved that he can do that versus any defense. And getting the worst pass rush in the league, I think he's going to have a field day. We still got time, an hour and 15 minutes. I'm thinking about throwing a crazy lotto, and I really do think both quarterbacks could throw for between 250 and 300 yards today. If we just move to my next play, which is Lamar's passing yards over, I believe we locked this in at 234.5. Looks like Fanatics is the closest line to where we played it. Still think there's good value there. Still think there's good value here with Lamar over 235.5. My projections on this were 277. So huge, huge, huge. It's a divisional game. Like, honestly, with an edge like that, I generally will bet like 1.5 to 2 units. Decided to keep this one light. It is a divisional game, AFC North game. Like, this game could be very low scoring. I do think each team's going to have trouble running the ball. But I do think each team should find success in throwing the ball. So took both quarterbacks over. We got a little bit of closing line value, but I do still think both lines are still playable. Another big game on the slate tonight. We've got the 4:30 game, Mahomes and Josh Allen going up. I like Mahomes over. I think I got 238.5 last night. Yeah, this is the number I believe I played. Looks like it's still at Caesars. Yeah, I played this 110 at 365, but 115. Yeah, this is still good. I would play this. Absolutely would play this. Over in 3 of his last 4, 6 of his last 7. Buffalo 19th in passing yards allowed. Over in 4 of his last 5 versus Buffalo. Buffalo is banged up, but I just feel like Josh Allen finds a way to stay in this game. And I could be totally wrong about this. If Kansas City beats the brakes off of them, this isn't going to hit. But if this game stays competitive, and Buffalo's even, correct me if I'm wrong, are they a 1-point favorite? Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe they're a 1-point favorite at home. If we sweep today, Storch would be huge. Buffalo is a 2 to 2.5 point favorite at home. Yeah, it's really hard to win 10 straight games in the NFL. So I like Mahomes. I like Buffalo to stay competitive, and I like Mahomes to go over his passing yards in this one. Looked at Allen, really considered Allen's passing yards over, just kind of the same logic. Kind of think this will be a game where there's a lot of offensive yards, even if there's not a lot of scoring. He's beat up, though. I don't know if Amari Cooper's officially playing. Keon Coleman's out. Dalton Kincaid's out. Buffalo's banged up. Rushing yards, didn't see anything in this one I liked. Looked at James Cook, but you see Kansas City's rush defense allowing the 4th fewest. Kareem Hunt played him several times this season. I don't think it's a positive game script for him here. I think that's really, at the end of the day, what kept me off of Kareem Hunt. Definitely considered Travis Kelce here. It was just a little too high for me. But you can see here, reception yards right in the middle. Receptions might be 6.5 is crazy work. Reception long for Kelce actually might be a good look today. I don't hate the receptions long look for Kelce today. Patrick, 2+ touchdowns at even money. That sounds pretty good too, if we're being honest. Mahomes, 2+ passing touchdowns at even money. Over in 4 of the last 5 versus Buffalo. This is a tough matchup. This is kind of crazy. I don't hate Mahomes 2+ touchdowns. I don't hate it at all. Passing touchdowns, obviously. Don't hate Mahomes 2+ passing touchdowns one bit. Honestly, I've got a decent lean to Kelce here too. I might have a parlay for this one. I think I will. I've got the 1 o'clock parlay. We probably put the 4 o'clock parlay together. I like those 2 legs a lot. The one other play I released was San Francisco. This would be another one where I think we could attack a parlay leg. DK only had 48 in the last matchup, but Debo, I want to say, had over 100. 102, then he had 149, 133 also. I took Debo over 59.5. I definitely didn't see a 55.5. It either moved or I just need to refresh it. NFL props. I'll be upset with myself if I gave up 3 or 4 yards. That being said, though, I absolutely love Debo. I just showed you, but let me pull it up again. I mean, absolutely love Debo. Kittle's questionable. Anyone see anything on Kittle today? Bosa is always questionable. Williams questionable. Yes, we got this 59.5. Love this spot for Debo. Over in 4 of his last 8. Here's the other thing, too. We got absolutely fucking hosed on this game where he played like, 3 snaps. If we look at all of his games with 5+ targets, which, I mean, he's averaging 8.5. He's never had less than 5 in the last 2 seasons versus Seattle. 5+ targets over in 4-6 this season, averaging 76.2. You see the passing defense is bad. Shakir receptions. I might fuck around and throw another unit on Debo before 4 o'clock gets here. I like Khalil Shakir's receptions over. Honestly, going to be a lot of targets there. I think it's a positive game script for both quarterbacks in the sense that I think this game probably maintains a 7-point either way. I could see a lot of back and forth trading the lead. Yeah, I like Khalil Shakir's receptions yard over. Let me go to the market and see what it's done. Hold on. Receptions. Shakir 5.5 plus 122 to. Honestly, that Bet Rivers number, it's not real far off Pinnacle, but it almost feels too good to pass up. I'll leave you as a really strong lean, and if I got some market support around that one, I like it. Definitely a strong lean over there. If you played that plus 108 at Rivers, I ain't mad at you. Play the plus 108, though, because FanDuel's at minus 114, 117, 115, 118. There's an even money at MGM. Go get one of those plus signs if you're playing it. I ain't mad at you if you're playing that. I like that at plus money. Got to keep it at plus money. But you get that at plus money, yes, sir. I could get behind that at plus money. That is all the plays I have for today. Anything else that stands out? Definitely want to go over some of the stars. How deep are we into this show? 15 minutes. We're making great time. All right, that game already happened. Just quickly going through this game. Not much I want to attack in this game. You know, Stafford's passing yards over looks good, but I just worry that the game script is them beating ass and not needing it in the second half. You could say, well, what do you think about Kyren Williams? Here it is. I do like Kyren Williams, but you can see it's kind of up for a reason. Season average of 73.8. But he's averaging 82 in wins this year. It's tough. I think the number's where it probably should be. Receptions line 2.5 plus money. The over feels kind of insane. I don't hate a Kyren Williams rushing receiving over. Joe Burrow, very tough defensive matchup today. I went over it personally. Slight leans to the under for me, but not enough to be actionable, and hard to game script that game for me as well. Should be a really good game though. Can't believe that one got flexed instead of this ball. Like what? Baltimore, Pittsburgh doesn't get flexed. Wild to me, but I digress. Don't want to attack the receivers in here. Neither Puka nor Cooper Kupp. Just generally a game I don't want to attack. Kind of similar here. I do think Tua could have a big day. A-Chain's rushing yards. I did feel like we could lean over there because I do see a pretty positive game script. Tyreek looked awful last week besides the touchdown. OBJ hasn't done anything all year. A-Chain receiving yards, 34.5, felt just a hair high. Brock Bowers, I didn't want to touch, but you could maybe attack Brock Bowers over here. Pretty decent against tight end reception yards, though. So I did not see anything there I liked. Green Bay, Chicago. Caleb Williams is a bum. Don't want to attack anything there. Green Bay secondary, fairly solid. I will say Jaden Reed. There was a solid lean for me because you could get him at 50 plus. I like Reed's over here. Again, pretty decent secondary. Also, do think the game script could be them beating the shit out of them. I know it's a divisional game, but the way I have this power ranked, Green Bay is like 10 points. 10, like 10 points better than Chicago. I don't know if the market necessarily reflects that. I haven't been betting a lot of sides and totals this week. What's the market at? The game's in Chicago and they're still 6-point favorites. Yeah, Chicago might be worth a point and a half. So I don't know. Just think it's going to be a pretty confident week. What's the win rate for them? 3-6 in wins. He's over in every road game though. I like Jaden Reed. Don't pay too much into that home away split stuff, but you can keep an eye on it from time to time. Especially again, I really like it for younger guys on the home games and even some older folks, older players on road games as well. No, I like to play young players unders on the road, old players overs at home. And that is a broad statement. It definitely doesn't work for each guy. Tucker Kraft could be a spot to attack here too. Tucker Kraft. Again, good secondary, but Tucker Kraft might be the guy for Green Bay to attack. Look, 14-point spread. Sure, you could say, hey, what about Amon St. Broad? They suck in the secondary. Yeah, you could say, what about David Montgomery? It's a possible positive game script. Yeah, I don't really want to touch this. If you want to attack it, attack the running backs. Maybe Brian Thomas Jr. too. Considered that, but Mac Jones is the quarterback, right? I'm pretty sure Trevor Lawrence is still out with that shoulder. Trevor Lawrence still out with that shoulder. I've got no faith in Mac. You know, he retired me as a Patriots fan. I tried to give it a whirl after Brady, and he was so bad. I said, fuck this. Moving on to Kamara. Storch said he likes Kamara. Receiving yards might be a decent look, Storch. The rushing yards, I don't think as much. Not terrible. Running backs, most in touchdowns allowed. That could be a spot. Reception yards are actually very good. I don't hate you for this. You know, I don't hate it. Could you get ever like a 109? I know DraftKings does alternate lines. Maybe you could even buy down like a 50 and 25 each. This isn't going to be a spot I attack this week. Okay. Storch, I'm not mad at you for that, but it's not going to be a spot I take. Russian receiving. I like this. If you've got this as a parlay piece, I'd absolutely love it. Absolutely love that as a parlay piece. Storch, we might have to keep that in the back of our mind. Minus 233. I like Kamara Russian receiving over 100. Nothing else, though. Famous Jameis starting this game. Derek Carr's back. Beat up in the receiving core, though, for New Orleans. New Orleans is real beat up in the receiving core. Olave out. Shaheed's out for the season. Just tough. Minnesota, Tennessee. Tennessee's got one of those defenses where I don't know if they're necessarily as good as the statistics say. They've got the number one ranked pass defense, I believe. Okay, Herbert, they don't throw the ball at all. He's a fucking bum. That's ridiculous, though. Then Allen had 300. Bum. Hate to say it. Looking like washed and bum. So it's like fake good. Enough to worry me, though. Darnold under yards. Did you go over? No, I'm on Darnold right now. This, I don't know. I'm not going to touch this. It's enough to worry me, but they also should. They should be winning this game and not need it. And you've seen that from Darnold this year. Well, he'll have a bunch in the first half. And then in the second half, not need as many. You can see in those 4 games especially. So I'm not on Darnold one way or the other in this game. Aaron Jones could have a pretty decent game. Rush yards, they're ranked 13th. Hold on, full game. Do think this could be a positive spot for Aaron Jones. You know, something like a 60.5 at a good number is something I could probably get behind. Minnesota is a 6-point favorite. So, yeah, this is something I could get behind. Aaron Jones. Tony Pollard's made us a lot of money this year as well, though. They do have a really good rush defense. I wouldn't sleep on Tony Pollard, though. He's made us a lot of money this season. Not again, he's not on my card today, but he has definitely made us a fair chunk of change. Everyone's going to ask about Justin Jefferson's line. I think it's a good one, right around 80. There's the fact that they may not need him. There's the fact that this might be a really good secondary. I don't think it's a really good secondary. It's at least solid. It might be pretty good. I'm not touching Jefferson one way or the under. I know a lot of y'all really like to do parlays and buy down. Do I think this is safe at 50 plus? Yeah, I do. He's over in every game but one. If they need him, I think they use him. Jacobs 60, Taylor 60. Both have gone over in 5 straight weeks, plus 104. I could get behind both of those guys. As I said, I do think Jacobs has a good day. I think he's got a good game script. I don't want to target the Minnesota pass catchers, though. I've seen it. I've seen them do well in the first half and then maintain the lead and run the ball in the second half. That's why I do like Aaron Jones slightly more. Baltimore and Pittsburgh. Feel like I've already went over this game. I've went over both of these quarterbacks because they're straight bets. Y'all know I play Derrick Henry's over damn near every week. This is not the week to play it. That's why I'm on Lamar's over. Najee's over has also been a common theme, but again, I'm not playing it this week. 2 of the top defenses. I've spent my whole life watching these teams play twice a year, every year. They've gone on some crazy streaks. I'd say 80% of the games I've seen in my lifetime have ended within 3 points. That might be a little overdoing it, but it's been crazy. This is going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight, whether it's low scoring, high scoring. Could be one of those games where you see a lot of offense, but a lot of field goals. Which may bode well for Pittsburgh with the way Justin Tucker's been kicking the ball. I'm going to stay off running backs in general. Jaylen Warren is back and healthy. I saw he's going to have a full go this week. He's definitely liable to break out some big runs. I like that 1-2 punch dynamic they have. I still don't think Arthur Smith calls it the greatest. I don't think Najee should be taking sweeps. I don't think Warren should be taking dives. But I digress. I still like the 1-2 punch that they have. Receivers, I do have 2 leans here. Honestly, I like Zay Flowers and George Pickens both to go over their lines. Obviously, we took them bought down in the parlay. Zay had 73 in the matchup last season versus Pittsburgh, the only one that he played. And you can see this year he's either going for 90 or less than 30. It's hilarious to see here. If Baltimore is the win, he's over in 3 of 7 wins. Over in 2 or 3 losses this season. Obviously, that means if they're down, they're trailing, they're going to be throwing the ball more. Couldn't get it going in that Kansas City game, but has since, definitely turned it around. Like both of these guys, Pickens is over in 2 or 3 every game with Russell Wilson. So I really like Pickens here today. I've already got him in a parlay, so he's not going to make it on my straight card, but maybe an additional parlay before we get things started here. Like Pickens over. Seen a lot of people liking Darnell Washington's over today. He is a big motherfucker. He is like 6'8". Don't want to block him. He could get this in 1 catch. Do like the over there. Also think Muth could have a big game. Maybe a Muth touchdown instead of yards would be something I would recommend attacking today. That's what I thought. Versus tight ends, pretty weak. Outside of that game, Indiana, New York Jets, 2 disappointments. Yeah, Storch said Washington receiving yards every game. I do like Washington's yards. We did say maybe Jonathan Taylor rush yards here. I like Taylor's rush yards here. You can see that rush defense has struggled. And they're smart. They'll feed it to him even when they're trailing. 106 out of Mixon. Najee had 102. Ray Davis had 97. Javonte Williams had 77. Jordan Mason had 147. His regular line is there still 80.5? So I might be able to just play Taylor straight. I feel like we got to get a renegade in here. I'm in fear for my life from the long arm of the law. Hold up. Doing some odds shopping real quick. One moment. Shopping the odds for y'all real quick. +80 yards. Probably the best number we're going to see is at FanDuel. I like this. Saints are good at giving up long runs. Yeah, no, I could see Chubb there. I don't hate that look at one bit at all. Do like Jonathan Taylor's over. Ben, I think you might be onto something here. We might circle back for this. Storch, if you're here. Are these both 1 o'clock games? All right. Receiving yards, man, this one is going to be absolutely brutal to kind of. I would lean over for a lot of these pass catchers because I don't think that the Jets are going to run away with this one. I do think, Indianapolis they could win this game. So that plays well into Garrett Wilson. That plays well into Devontae Adams. Both are at target lines of 9. Devontae's over that in 2 straight. Garrett Wilson's had 10 and 6. Devontae, 11 and 13. Don't hate Garrett Wilson to score a touchdown in this game. My official lean for this game, I'm going to keep it to 1. Jonathan Taylor over. Taylor's 5 of the last weeks. Jacobs 5, yeah. Leave it as my favorite lean for this one is going to be Jonathan Taylor over his yards. Circling back to this game, I do have other leans outside of we did play Debo over 59.5 receiving yards. I leaned Geno's passing yards over. He had like 312 versus this team last time. Noah Fant's out, but we've got DK Metcalf back. Held a depleted Tampa Bay to 116. Dak at 243 is honestly bad. This is impressive. As I said, 312. He's not really that good. This is honestly embarrassing for them. He went over his line. He went way over his line. And as I've referred to several times, he's washed. I don't know that this secondary scares me a lot. Like, there's something to pay attention to, but 40 yards under his average kind of seems crazy to me. Lean over for DK. Man, this is something I could come back to. This is a game I could come back to. Maybe we find something we pair with those 2 running backs. Brock Purdy over in a bunch of these games. What was the last one versus Seattle? We had exactly 255. As I assumed, you could probably get a couple things under that, but the market's probably close to where they should be there. This is going to be Metcalf's second game back. 13 attempts, 39 yards. Did have a bunch through the air, 7 targets, 6 receptions, 68 yards. DK did not perform well. I think Lockett did, though. Lockett had 65. DK had, hold on, he had 48. Yeah. Well, here's something we can do. Seattle. It's really not a good matchup for DK. It's really not a good matchup for DK. Wow, Ricky's numbers way up. Way up. He feels blessed. All right, we're moving on from this game. Couple leans. I like Ricky's over. I do not like Juwan Jennings in this one. Same could be said for Kittle. Same could be said for Metcalf. There's just not a lot. I do like Do lean over on Geno Smith's passing yards, though. Atlanta, Denver are really good defense. I went through this game earlier. There was absolutely nothing in this one that caught my eye. Last I looked, okay, he's good. Drake London, all good to go. Nothing in this game. Nothing in this game. You see this, like I mean, you would say, oh, what about fucking Bijan's over? Like, I don't know, man. Tough defense. They almost beat Kansas City last week. They should have beat blocked field goal. Should have beat Kansas City. If I have to give you something in this game, it is Drake London, though. If I have to give you something, yeah, but if he's getting Sutton, he's getting locked. Drake London is my one lean. Drake London is my one lean. Kansas City, Buffalo. I feel like I kind of already went over this game on Mahomes passing yards over. Lean over on Josh Allen, but I know that team's depleted. Yeah, basically already went over this game. Cincinnati and the Chargers. This is the last game I'll go over. And then Monday night game, I'll come back on tomorrow about 6 p.m. and go over individually. I'm in the mid-Atlantic area. I've got a lot of Cleveland fans and Cincy fans and Baltimore fans and Pittsburgh fans and Commanders fans. So I've had a couple people, whether they're in the Discord or just friends of mine, ask me about Cincinnati and Joe Burrow in this one. I don't think this is a good, really game to attack Cincinnati. I can't game script it. I do think Cincinnati could win this game. I think it is in the LA though. Hold on. Let me double check that. Yeah, the game is in LA. They are 1.5 point dogs. 1.5. It's close. I do think they could come out of this victorious. If they come out of this as winners, I do think it's because Joe Burrow threw for 270 plus. See, I don't think this is the kind of game where they're up early and slow the clock and chew the clock, but I could be wrong. It's hard. This is a hard game script for me. And it's a good defense, and I don't want to play the under. So, I mean, y'all know me. Those that have been tailing me, I'm one to fucking unload on unders. This isn't one. It worries me. The flip side of that is I think if the Chargers win this game, J.K. Dobbins has more than 55 rushing yards. Quentin Johnson, he's looked impressive. He had that 118-yard game versus Cleveland. Tennessee, is this a good defense? I don't know. These are two supposed to be pretty good defenses. If we're going to be just dead ass honest with ourselves, four of these five teams are pretty good defensive. Pittsburgh, not so much on the secondary side of things, the passing side of things, but they got to Herbert in that one. Did I look at Kelce receiving yards over? I did, and I did say it's a lean over for me. Hard for me to decide between his yards or his receptions. I like both. I also said don't be surprised. That's a 4:00 game, correct? I hope. Yeah, I know you're in the Discord. You're I Love Canada, I believe, right? I do think I'm actually going to have a lotto out for that game. I think, or at least having that in there. So go ahead and expect something from Kelce and Mahomes. I know Mahomes is a straight bet, but kind of expect that in a lotto to come out. The 1:00 lotto's in there. If you haven't seen it yet, Wilson, Lamar, Pickens, Zay Flowers. I do think it's going to be a throwing kind of game. We did have a request on Khalil Shakir in that one as well. I do lean over. So that probably, kind of help rounds out that parlay in this Kansas City game. If you wanted to, don't lock this in yet, but everyone that's in the Discord, assume something like this is coming. Mahomes regular line over. I like it up to 250. Allen bought down a little bit, like 225. I just don't see him going under that. Over in 4 straight, 4 of his last 5 versus Kansas City. Allen at like 225. Kelce, since we can't do alt receptions, we either do 60 plus or 50 plus, depending on how froggy I'm feeling. But I do think we're in the kind of game where 8 targets is a floor. So we might go 60, we might go 50. We'll play around with that. We've got time. Yeah, definitely going Lotto here. Lotto, that last Lotto fire too, I appreciate it. I really like that one. We just needed to be a passing game. Hey, those of you that know, I'm not trying to toot my own horn because they fucking lost. But we hit a 34 unit Lotto 3 Mondays ago now, 2 Mondays ago. This is going on 3 weeks. And man, each of those weeks we've been yards away from like another 15 or 30 or 10 or 20 unit Lotto. We've been this close. We've been this close. Thursday night, 9 yards from 15 units. That's all right. Today we're hitting though. So yeah, to circle back, I think you're going to get a Mahomes over his straight line. Allen over 225. Kelce 50 plus. And then that fourth one's up for grabs. It might be Shakir like at like 50. It really probably will be. It's probably this, maybe even this if I'm feeling real conservative. Oh, my fault. Good call, Ben. Great call, Ben. So, yeah, I think that's what it's going to be, honestly. Everyone in the Discord, yeah, bro, I'm bad about that, too. I really am. The hat was just laying in my office. I thought about it, too. I got a Philly hat downstairs, but I said, fuck that walk. No, I really think that's going to be the lay. I got to call Storch. That'll probably be the one unit. I think we got to bet and get. We got to use. Also want to reiterate this. If y'all don't have boosts, probably lean. I would still bet the lottos because I'm not betting anything that I don't think is not going to cash. But if I'm going 1.5 unit because I got a boost, you should at least knock that in half. I would honestly recommend the lottos. Go quarter unit. Stay in it for the long run. Because usually a quarter unit, you still going to feel to win. While the loss, you really, fuck it. It was, it made the game more interesting, whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, we're trying to be plus EV. But if you're betting quarter units, have some fun too. Yo, what's good, Mac? Appreciate you tapping in, bro. So let me go ahead and break everything down for you. I know you in the cord. We really didn't add much. The only thing we really add, the only thing we really added was no, that was even released in the Discord. So what we got is Debo over 59.5 receiving yards. You can hit that at 60 plus. Mahomes over his passing yards. We locked in at 238. We got a pretty good number. Wilson over his passing yards. Lamar over his passing yards. We also got one lotto locked in. 1 o'clock lotto. Zay for 40. George for 50. Both quarterbacks 225. Looking at this last lotto, I really believe it's going to be Khalil Shakir 40 plus. Let me just cook this up now and see what I get the odds for. I really believe we got it. I can't believe they flexed that Cincy game to a late spot. Like, wouldn't that Baltimore game have been, that Baltimore-Pittsburgh game been so much nicer? All right, so you buy down on Allen. You take Mahomes' regular line. I'd like it up to 243. Maybe actually I just go Mahomes 225 too. Yeah, it's only minus 180. Both quarterbacks 225. Give me Kelce 50s at minus 240. That'll work. Now, Shakir, do we want to go 40 or 50? What's the difference in odds? So we're going from plus 250 to plus 292. I'm kind of okay with plus 250, 225, 225, 40, and 50. If we go 50 and 50, it's plus 292. Shakir's line's only like 55.5, 56.5. Although if we get 50, you know, it is over in 7 and 9, 4 straight. I'm gonna go with the 250. I'm not gonna be mad when I smack a plus 250. Go ahead and lock it in. 1 unit play right there on that. 225, 225, 50, and 40, and then we call that a day. And we're actually done a little early. I said I wanted to be out of this thing within an hour. We're at 42 minutes. That means we do got a spare minute or two. Any requests before I dip? I'll give it like 10 seconds. Any requests before I dip? If not, all good. I will be back tomorrow for a Monday night show. Man, low key, I wanna release Steelers +3, but I know that's the homer in me. Hey, low key, I'm happy either way. Baltimore wins, Maryland wins, if Pittsburgh wins. It's funny. I live between those teams. I kind of like both of them. I ain't even gonna cap. All right, that's all I got today. I appreciate. We did not do the under on Darnold. You're the second person to ask about that. Did I say something about that earlier this week? Maybe I did. I don't know. I did not bet the under on Darnold, though. I did not bet the under on Darnold. No, no, no under on Darnold. 4 plays, 4 straights, 2 autos. That's all I got for today. Best of luck today.